What if absolute power didn't just corrupt, but mutated human behavior into something far worse? Into obsession, into ritual, into cruelty so normalized it passed as leadership. These weren't rulers, they were architects of fear, designing kingdoms powered by paranoia, pain, and unchecked ego. Some kings built empires, others built nightmares. One beat his own son to death, another dined beside impaled corpses. One murdered thousands just to collect rubber and use their severed hands as receipts. This isn't fiction. This is the part of history most people never hear about. These are 11 real kings whose habits were so unhinged, their palaces may as well have been horror films. And by the end of this video, ye won't be wondering how they got power. Ye'll be wondering why no one stopped them. What if absolute power didn't merely corrupt, but warp human behavior into something far more sinister? Into obsession, into rituals, into cruelty so commonplace it passed for leadership. These weren't rulers. They were craftsmen of fear, forging kingdoms driven by paranoia, pain, and unbridled ego. Some kings raised empires, others conjured nightmares. One bludgeoned his son to death, another feasted beside skewered corpses. One slaughtered thousands to gather rubber, using severed hands as proof. This isn't fiction, this is history's hidden chapter, rarely told. These are 11 real kings whose deranged habits turned palaces into horror film sets. By this video's end, ye won't wonder how they gained power. You'll wonder why no one stopped them. 1. Charles VI of France, the Glass King who forgot his crown. Charles VI didn't just govern France, he haunted it. Crowned at 11, taking full control by 21, he was meant to stabilize France during the 100 Years' War, but by 25, his mind began to fracture. His first breakdown struck without warning. In the forest of Le Mans, Charles suddenly turned on his own men, sword flashing, slaying 4 before collapsing. That was just the start. For decades, France endured a king who believed he was made of glass. He forbade anyone to touch him, fearing he'd shatter. He wore reinforced garments. Servants tiptoed around him. He sat still for hours, convinced a single move would splinter his body. At times, he forgot his wife, children, and kingdom, insisting he was George, not a king at all. Yet he stayed on the throne. Removing him risked deeper civil war. While rival factions, Armagnacs and Burgundians, battled for control, Charles drifted in and out of Catatonia, barely aware his realm was crumbling. He ruled 42 years, but over half were spent detached from reality. His fragile mind mirrored France itself, a glass crown atop a collapsing empire. When he died in 1422, few more treason, real or not. Thus he formed the Oprichnina, a secret police force clad in black, riding black horses, wielding brooms to sweep away enemies. They tortured nobles, burned towns, and slaughtered entire families. Ivan even beheaded his cousin's child on suspicion of disloyalty, forcing the parents to watch. His darkest act? He killed his own son. In 1581, during a heated dispute, Ivan struck his eldest son, his only capable heir, with his royal staff. The blow crushed the young man's skull. Realizing his deed, Ivan reportedly collapsed, wailing over the body. With his heir gone and his mind unraveling, Ivan sank deeper into cruelty. He taxed peasants to starvation, ordered mass executions in Novgorod, and turned religious icons into tools of vengeance. His reign became a stage of brutality, yet he saw himself as a devout Christian, confessing often, funding churches, but his faith warped justice into punishment, mercy into weakness. He died in 1584. Game he played with Russia lingered, leaving a power vacuum, a fractured dynasty, and a blood-soaked nation. Ivan wasn't terrible for a nickname. He made terror an institution. 3. Christian VII of Denmark, the king who ruled only himself. Picture a king so